for that? Is there a second? May I have roll call?
Roll call, trustee Flynn.
Abstain.
Trustee McCormick. You're abstaining. Joe, I can't.
Yes. As we go.
DeSalvo.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Ignacio.
I have a question. You don't want those two things checked out, or, Joe?
I definitely want it, but I think the whole thing is unenforceable the way it's written.
You think it was...
Without the cooperation of the property owners, the hotel owners, we're not going to get anywhere. So if we don't sit down and have a nice meeting discussing how we perceive this whole thing, it's for naught.
Can I say something? Well, we're in the middle of a motion, we just finished. I'm sorry. Actually, we're in the middle of a vote.
Joe. Mayor Ignacio.
Aye, so it's
Three
three...
ayes and two abstaining.
Right, and that's, so that we can do what, we need to find out the answers on those two questions. Okay, the residency one is important, and is there a state law, and how is it enforced? You know, how is it written, what is it, we'll actually get a copy of it if there is one. And then we'll come back here at our next village board meeting and discuss it, bring back those answers. You all, any of you can see me before that, in a couple of days, by Thursday or Friday, I'll have it if you want to come and see me. I'll give you the answers to those two questions as I am told by the attorney. And then we can come back here at the next meeting and talk some more.
Can we make it available to anyone just at the village that they don't need to see you in case you're not there?
What? The one-
The answers to these questions. Can we make them available to anyone who wants to come to the village between 9 and 4?
Okay?
Within 2 days, sir?
Huh?
Within 2 days?
Yeah, I gotta give him a couple of days. He wants to play golf tomorrow, so,
Thank you.
yeah. By Thursday or Friday, I mean.
Okay.
Is there going to be another
Okay.
meeting with the motor owners?
Huh?
Is there going to be another meeting with the motor owners? That's
Not at this point.
Okay.
Maybe there will be, but not at this point.
Before the enforcement of this law, that's what I need to know.
I don't have one scheduled for that, you know.
Because,
I think Mr. McCormick wants to meet with you, so
yeah,
that's between
what
him.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
know, because,
He'll see you on that.
okay.
Okay?
You know, wait, Norm just want to say something, finish up.
I just don't understand this, because I'm not saying nothing about you, but obviously you're a lawyer. You must know that everybody else has this thing all over the place. Everybody we talk to has this law on the books. I'm not saying anything about you, but what I'm saying is, you had to know that this law has been on the books. It's everybody you talk to has it. So now all of a sudden you're saying that nobody knows that the law has been on the books.
There aren't any other communities that have similar laws on books based on our review. If there are, please present a copy of
Rockland
it.
County doesn't have it?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. That's all.
But if it
You brought up, someone brought up Stony Point, and I have it here. And unless there's, and this, they don't, this is not what, this is nothing compared to what we're trying to adopt here, at all.
Right.
No problem.
Can you make that available to everyone tomorrow, Joe?
If you want the website, so
Yeah, I
you
think
know where I got them.
On the, what's the website?
Okay, I'm gonna move forward, and, so, Mr. McCormick will get in touch with you, I guess, and we'll come back here at our next meeting.
That's what I'm trying to do, that this is actually, we're
Yeah.
discussing this, we're not just putting up for nothing, saying, okay, this is happened.
Yeah.
You know, because it seems the way, what I just heard, the comments, it seems a little, you know, the way the lady talked, I have no offense to whatever she said.
Okay.
She must have had a reason to say, but it feels like it's more like that they don't want us there. That's
Okay.
what I want.
All right, I'm gonna move on. Okay, next on the agenda is to recognize, we have a chief here. I got a lot of chiefs here tonight. But I'm talking about Chief Rush right now. And, you know, I might as well. Assistant Chief to be held by Jerry Galoo. The second Assistant Chief to be held by William Lee Sr. From April this month, 2012, to April 2013, following the election held April the 10th, 2012.
So moved. Second.
Motion by trustee McCormick, second by trustee DeSalvo. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries.
You all have to know that just that they don't get elected chief overnight. It took 14 years to get into that position. So there's 52 years of time.
Voting on that, or?
Is trustee Flynn in the house, or? Take a look. I didn't even know he wasn't here.
Sorry, apologize.
Can we kind of stay at the table unless,
Who's the emergency? I apologize.
let's try to stay at the table.
Let's move on.
Let's try to stay at the table, thank you. I'd like to have a motion to approve the recommendation from Sergeant Scott, hiring as a part-time Robert T. LeGros as a part-time police officer with our department. He's previously passed the Orange County Civil Service, been a police officer since 1992, recently worked at the Town of Highland Police Department. We have a motion for that.
So
Motion by trustee McCormick, is there a second? Second. Second by trustee DeSalvo, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Roll call.
Sorry.
Can I have roll call, trustee Flynn?
Aye.
Trustee McCormick?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo? Trustee Brown? Mayor Johnson?
Aye. Sorry, thank you. Next, we have a resolution to re-levy unpaid water bills for May and November 2011 to June 2012 taxes. Whereas the Village of Highland Falls has 115 delinquent water accounts in the amount of $32,909.16 remaining unpaid, including late fees and charges from May and November 2011 water billing. Now therefore be resolved that no further payments will be accepted after the 16th of April 2012, and any or all unpaid water accounts for the year 2011 be levied onto the 2012-2013 village taxes. The adoption of this foregoing resolution is as follows. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee McCormick. Is there a second? Second by trustee Brown. May I have roll call?
Trustee Flynn?
Aye.
Trustee McCormick?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Trustee Brown? Mayor Johnson?
Aye. I have bills and claims fiscal year 2011, 2012, $56,876.32. Motion by Harold, is there a second? Seconded by Jim, all in favor? May I have roll call?
Trustee Flynn?
Nay.
Trustee McCormick?
Aye.
Trustee DeSalvo?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Mayor Johnson?
Is there a bill on there that you disagree with?
No, thank you. I'm fine with what I voted.
One second. Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, public comment. Yes, sir.
Robert Lipsy, 107 Mountain Avenue, Highland Falls. At the last village meeting that I was at here, I was going to get up and say something when a couple comments were said, one about the Highland Falls Police Department, the low pants walking around on town, also the drugs. And there was another comment against how bad it actually is up here in the village. I grew up in the community of Town of Highlands. I went to the schools here, Second Park, Elementary School, Middle School, everything. I'm going to start with the police department first. I was a little disappointed with the comment saying basically that they really need to get working here in the community. For about a year now, I've been doing the community service program in Town of Highlands, and I don't know if anybody here has ever been in criminal court down at the town hall, but I got to tell you, it's packed. And there's some nights that criminal court will go until 10:30, 11 o'clock in the evening. These police here are the ones that are sending them there. I know there's drugs in this community. I know there's drugs in Rockland County community. I know there's drugs up in Cornwall. There's drugs all over the place, in Eastville, everywhere. The thing is about drugs, the people that are breaking the law, they need the phone call. And I gotta tell you something, as a resident where I live, I've actually made a couple phone calls and there's been arrests. But I just want everybody to know here that there are drugs in this community. But when you sort of throw a hard ball at the police that they're not doing anything, you need to, if you know the community service program and you see what's going on down at the court and how many people are actually getting arrested in this community, and I gotta tell you something, the village of Highland Falls is the busy part of the town of Highland surrounding. Okay? That's really basically where a lot of the arrests are coming from, and that's from this police department. And I just want to add one more thing about what I'm saying. This is nothing political. I'm done. But I want you to know, as working with the ambulance corps, we've always had 100% with the police department up here too. They've always been there. I don't want to take up too much time. Secondly, I want to say something also. The village board and the town board, okay? I was 4 years on the town board. This is bad, this community stinks, nothing's going on good here. I gotta tell you something, my feet are wet with politics. And I think a lot of this talk is political. This community that we live in, I can tell you right now, being a taxpayer, can it be better? Absolutely. Every community can be better. But I gotta tell you something, here in this community of the village, especially in the village here, there's a lot of activity that goes on here. There's a lot of stuff from parades to everything else that we do here. There's a lot. We have a high school where the kids up there all went to state championships and everything else. That's a great thing. That's a great thing in the community to live, to be able to say these things. Look at the village that we have here. Businesses, some of them are closing up. Absolutely they are. But we need to put the politics to the side, work together here, and try to draw this back together. I want to say another thing real quick about the baggy pants in the village of Highland Falls. I took the liberty on a Saturday evening to actually walk along Main Street because I think discrimination, some of these kids that are out there with the baggy pants, they're sort of looked at as trouble. But I got to tell you something, I walked up to a lot of these kids, okay? Well, just, walking up to them, what do you do here in the village and everything else. 98% of those kids, and I'm going to say children, that were on Main Street and everything else, are all athletes. That is their style. That's what they like. People get tattoos, okay? People wear corduroy. People have their style of what they wear. That is the style. When I went to high school, it was cuff pants and a bandana out the back pocket. That is the style. I'm sorry, but we have to live with these kids, okay? Let's not throw stones at them. Let's just try to make things better and live with them.
Thanks, Mike.
Last thing I gotta say with the board, okay? I took a hard hit during the hurricane. This board is working. And one great news I heard, Pat, Kevin, Joe, the board, is you got FEMA working now to come in here. As a resident, that's tremendous news. I thank you for that. Thank you very much.
I'm not sure, am I allowed to change subject matter here?
Yes, public comment.
Anything you want.
Okay. Again, my name is Sharon Guy, 13 Bell Lake in Highland Falls, New York. I have two subject matters to touch on right now. I appreciate Merv talking about Highland Falls and all the good things that are happening here. I wouldn't live here if I didn't think this was a good community. I have great respect for a lot of people that live here. I've been through a lot of crap in my life. I've done a lot of things wrong. And through the past 30 years, I've lived my life as best I can. And I want to tell you about a little incident that I had this weekend. It was very trivial to most people. To me, it was devastating. And when I called the police to make a complaint, they told me that there was no law on the book regarding my issue. I had spent several hundreds of dollars getting ready for this yard sale, because West Point was having their yard sale. And an individual went around town took it upon himself to take down my yard sale signs. Not anybody else's yard sale signs, my yard sale signs. This is the third year in a row that it's happened. I want to tell you that 4 years ago when I had my yard sale, I made $2,000. I take my possessions out of my house and sell them, my jewelry, my furniture, to try to pay my bills. Okay? So I'm upset over this. And the police didn't take it seriously at all. They said there's no law on the books as far as anybody taking down yard sale signs. So last year, the same person that took down the signs this year, on request of another person, I cannot name names because this person will not come forward and admit what he said to me. But I know that it was done by a certain person. I can't say because then this man would sue me for slander. It's just the type of person that he is. So I want to say that 20 years ago, when there were other chief police here, they asked, I went to the police station because a policeman came to me and said, you can't hang signs on the telephone poles and on the other different poles around town. And I said, if I take my signs down afterwards, may I hang the signs? He said, absolutely, as long as you take them down. Now, every year for 20 years, I've been having a yard sale in Highland Falls, and everybody here knows that. And they also know that I go around and I take down my signs. So I had this issue this weekend. I made the report. 10 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, my signs were down. I had to go replace a few. I couldn't go and replace all of them or even see what was taken down. I'd asked the police to do that. There was an issue of the village and the town not being able to do it because one couldn't go into one territory, one couldn't go into another territory. So there's this issue of consolidation and communication and authority and cooperation between the two departments. And at this point in time, it's very clear to me that there is no cooperation towards my issue anyway. And the communication that is done in particular towards me this weekend was just, you don't even know. So my point is that there should be a law on the books as far as yard sale signs go, because people such as myself who are struggling to hold on to their house and selling their possessions to be able to pay their bills, that when they go to the police, that they should get some cooperation regarding this issue. Also, I was told that there's cameras up and down Highland Falls that I had signs. Take me 4.5 hours to hang these signs. It was $50 to hang for the posters. There's duct tape, there's gas. There's a young man that I had to hire to help me do it because I have a bad back and I can't get in and out of my car. So I spent several $100s on getting these signs up. So they tell me that unless I see the person do it, I can't press charges. I now have a screw in my tire from the same, not the person that took down my signs, but the person that asked this person to take down the signs. I can't say who it is, but I know who it is. This has been going on for years. So I want this issue resolved about yard sale signs. Secondly, I went down to the town police department because on Saturday night as I rode around and looked for my signs, every sign was taken down up on 9W from Washington Gate to the Bear Mountain Circle, hence the issue with both the village and the town. There were signs all up and down Main Street. Every single one of them were taken down. I had worked for months collecting stuff. I have a brother who's sick and I had to go empty out his house. I was selling some of his furniture to try to help him with his medical bills. And all of that is still stuffed in my driveway right now. I had a complaint from the village saying that I had to get rid of the stuff that was in my driveway because it was a mess. And I had it under a tarp, waiting for the West Point yard sale to come. I had somebody knock on my door at 5:30 in the morning, asking me if they could look at my yard sale stuff. They had come driven down from Saratoga, and that they couldn't get into West Point until 7 o'clock.
Sharon.
Okay, My second issue is, when I went down to the town police department, they did not answer the door. I didn't know if anybody was there. I called the number. I came up to the village police department. Oh, as I was walking back from the town department, which is right around the corner from my house, in the old ambulance building, I saw a village policeman. He sees me, he looks at me. I wave to him, please stop. He does not stop. He completely ignores me and laughs and rides up the street and ignores me when I come to the village police department to make a complaint about these signs. He was very rude to me and disrespectful, and he opened up the door and told me he didn't like my attitude and that I could leave. At that point, I said, I will leave, and I will go get somebody to witness how disrespectful and rude you were being to me at this time. He changed his attitude. He says, you need to calm down. I'm not going to give you the guy's name. That's between me and the police department. Because I believe a lot of these police are good people. But the way that I was treated was just totally